Hey there, West Coast gang. Our bomb cyclone has officially set records. More than 500,000 people were without power last night after strong winds slammed the Pacific Northwest. We're also expecting 12 to 16 inches of rain in Northern California, leading to serious flooding. Now, our storm strengthened at twice the rate needed to get bombogenesis, or the formation of a so-called bomb cyclone. Basically, its pressure dropped in the middle about 5.5%, meaning we're lifting that much air up and out the center, causing like a vacuum and sucking in very strong winds. On satellite, we can even see like this little eye of sorts form. Now, this whole counterclockwise spinning gyre is also pumping tropical moisture ashore. There's our atmospheric river, our narrow filament of like a moisture fire hose. It will be aimed at Northern California today, tonight, especially tomorrow, and likely towards Friday night into early Saturday morning before things finally wind down. The heaviest rains will continue, especially in like the Klamath National Forest and the northern coastal range. That's where accumulations of like 10 to 14 inches are possible. And remember that the mountains, the high terrain, sort of pokes up into our atmospheric river, helping to focus some moisture and enhancing rainfall rates even more. The most concerning part is that the National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center has drawn a level 4 out of 4 high risk of flash flooding and excessive rainfall. Now, high risks are only issued about 4% of the time, but they count for 40% of all flood fatalities and 83% of financial losses, so you have to take this one seriously. Now, the good news for Washington, for Oregon, you're mostly done with this steady precipitation. Sure, there might be one or two scattered, isolated downpours, maybe a snow shower in the mountains, but I think for the most part we're done with the heavy stuff. The reason being, that's because now we're in the dry slot, or this little wedge of dry air wrapping into our broader low pressure system. As that moves overhead, skies might get a little brighter, we'll see less rainfall, less snow, and the precipitation will kind of shut off like we're turning off a faucet. And another piece of really good news, the wind is almost done. It's like when you stir your coffee in the morning, you know, that dip in the middle sort of deepens until you stop stirring, at which point it returns towards that equilibrium flat level. Same thing here. Our low is no longer strengthening, it's beginning to weaken as it pulls farther offshore and resultantly less in the way of wind as that low kind of fills in. That said, the winds were howling last night. We saw a gust of 78 miles per hour on Vancouver Island, 93 miles per hour with an offshore buoy. Otherwise, the high terrain of Washington, Oregon, and Northern California did see winds gusting 60 to 75 miles per hour. Same thing at the coast. I think for the most part, we're done there. And now it's time to finally work towards restoring power for the 500,000 customers who are still in the dark. In the meantime, this active weather continues, but we got you covered nonstop around the clock. Keep it tuned to MyRadar on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and right here in the free MyRadar app.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, and Windows.